Haha.
Well, and speaking of OpTic, actually, they are going to be coming up here on the main stage on Alpha, obviously after winning against the Pittsburgh Knights on Charlie, and they're going to be going up against G2.
Yeah, I mean, you got to imagine OpTic makes quick work of G2. Just from what I saw of them, I mean, they looked okay, but their Search and Destroy is what I expect them to be good at, and they dropped the ball on that. They lost 2 of them. And OpTic has some Search and Destroy stars on that roster, and they're definitely going to be great at respawn, so I think G2 might need a miracle going in this one, boys.
OpTic did win 3-0, but it wasn't the most convincing of 3-0s. They had a couple close maps. The Knights are up there feeling like they probably should have won first map. So I don't know. Maybe if G2 comes out hot in that, like they did in that second hard point against Splice, maybe they can take it. I don't know, but I'm going to have to agree with Hand here. OpTic should be handling this series pretty easily.
They really should. I mean, I'm still looking to see Decimate go off. I mean, he's a player who was he was essential to any kind of success that they had against Splice in the previous series. So I don't know. I've got high hopes. I
mean, that's my question.
I'm going to be devil's
right?
advocate here. They're going to do fine.
Yeah, that's my question, right? If Decimate can kind of keep playing like that, stay consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, if he can, then they can be really good, but they need a star.
Of course, we are continuing on here this Friday to kick off CWL Las Vegas. We've seen FaZe, United, and Lightning Pandas winning their matchups. And coming up on Alpha on the main stage is going to be OpTic Gaming versus G2 right after this break.
Hello and welcome back. We've had some incredible matches already so far here at the first event. CWL Vegas now well underway. I know it's day one, well I guess kind of day two if you consider the play-in bracket yesterday, Joe, but honestly, we're leading into some of the crazier matches of the day for sure. I don't know about this one, though. This could be a quick series. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we're just not exactly too sure. I mean, obviously, G2 Esports, they had a very slow start against Splice that we saw earlier, but they go to a Game 5. I think that was a pretty big surprise for at least myself. OpTic, on the other hand, they took care of business. A nice 3-0, and as you said, when you just look at these two teams on paper, OpTic Gaming should be able to handle this one.
Well, let's get right into the game one. You hear the crowd getting behind OpTic Gaming early. We'll see what they can do in the first hardpoint. Right now on board with Decimate. He's trying to find the angle, but Crim6 with the ICR up to the task at Pillar. 3 kills in the kill feed, though, for OpTic Gaming. They'll win that first wave. They'll find the early time, Joe.
Yeah, still 35 seconds left on this hill. We're going to watch that mini-map. The next hill will be that crane side, that left side of your screen. When will those green arrows start to work their way up? And it looks like that's exactly what TJ's trying to do. Number 10, and all the kills right now. Decimate and Ricky, they're stuck in the vents. All this time going the way of OpTic. They're getting the spawns that they need. They're looking comfortable.
Well, you kind of heard Chance talk about this in the previous series. This first hardpoint, if you win that first wave, a lot of times the first hardpoint you can't find a ton of time. It's pretty contest heavy. This one you can get a decent chunk, and you see that early on with a 30-0 start. Finally, G2 Esports start to get on the board, but now we'll focus on the rotation. It's Crim6 that has to get it done, and he's able to 180 and snap to find a second kill. The entire G2 team in front, but narrowly picked off before he can tuck away in the corner before the reinforcements come in.
Yeah, those last 15 seconds, G2 were able to stabilize. They got the spawns they needed, and you can see they're starting to rack up a good amount of time. OpTic Gaming seem a little bit split up just based off the minimap. You have a couple of guys trying to hit through this middle lobby where Karma's at right now. A couple of guys trying to hit through the front, but Chino able to make quick business of them, and you can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to work his way up. You see number 4 spawn all the way out on the minimap. They're already thinking for that statue hill.
And I know we've been able to watch a lot more gameplay from OpTic Gaming, obviously, with their deep runs in the 2Ks and the pro downs. Obviously, they've won basically everything online, but when you take a look at the 3 game modes in this particular series, if G2's going to get an upset, is there anywhere it has to start for you?
It's got to start in probably this game 1. And Chino, you see he's paced up that lightning strike. When you look at this roster,
he's got 7 kills in a row right now.
Yeah, he's at 9-3. When you look at this G2 roster from top to bottom, you obviously have the 2 young guns, Blastful and Decimate. Those really have to be your superstars. Chino, what a rock he was for Team Caliber last year when they won back-to-back championships. But Faceno and Ricky, those guys just revolve their game around search and destroy, and typically game 3s, which will be control this year.
Well, despite the 30-0 start for OpTic Gaming, it's Chino and a 7 spree and a dominant effort and Crane that's going to allow them to pick it up. 2 now come in behind the Hellstorm, and he still has the Lightning to work with. Right now, kind of picking up mid-lab, but will transfer over to Blast as he's trying to deal with the pressure coming out of front office. And this looks to be just a great transition from Crane now to Statue. A ton of time for G2. What's going wrong for OpTic Gaming right now?
Well, obviously, just that Hellstorm in transition. A couple of players
makes
go
it easy,
down.
right?
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier, but TJ able to find a couple of kills. Scump as well, and that is the power of OpTic Gaming. That SOG duo, TJ and Scump, they can light up the main stage as they just did right there. If G2 were able to stabilize, they had a great setup. Blastful was pushed out towards the front. They could be up by 40
exactly.
40 points.
I think that's a big break from OpTic Gaming. Not only do they retain or take back the lead, but also, like you said, just allows G2 to not really blow this wide open. We'll switch over to TJ's POV, trying to do some dancing here at the next hard point here at Guns. Unfortunately, runs into Vicento's setup with the ICR. The wave comes in though. OpTic Gaming able to get the clear. Dashy pushing out, finds a couple of kills. Scump there to help out, and that's everybody from G2 wiped off the board as OpTic Gaming gets set up.
Yeah, Scump starting to heat up a little bit. He's on a force free, but Chino once again with the lightning strike. There's a couple of maps in our map set this year where streaks aren't too strong, right? We talk about a map like Gridlock. It's just so difficult, right? To obviously have the bridge overhead, but Arsenal, every single hill, really except for the last one, deals with outdoors. So those lightning strikes, those Hellstorms, they can do so much damage. And due to that lightning strike, G2 able to pick up these last 15
even
seconds.
The first one, maybe you feel safe. Unfortunately, no, you can still get those streaks in through top mid. Decimate wins a nice one-on-one on the back, but Dashy there to trade it for OpTic Gaming. You take a look across the top of the screen, everyone's still kind of building towards those specialists. Looks like Scump with Crash can be the first one to pick it up. Chino, I believe with his prop, it should have Tempest locked and loaded here with a couple more kills. but it's been about even. We've had a couple lead change heading towards kind of that 100-100 mark, and it's pretty close. But if you think back to last year and prior years, usually this is where the game starts to open up. You'll see teams play relatively even, maybe through the first set of rotations, then someone starts to get a feel for the game and really take over.
Yeah, you see Scump pops that Tac 5 move. Karma able to find a couple of kills. TJ finds a 4. Chino, the last player alive. Another great break. I mean, G2, this is the second hill where you look at Statue, look at this office hill where they've had a solid setup. But really, it's just been the power of OpTic Gaming that have kept him in this game. Karma with that grab slam, able to find a couple of more. He's on a force free. 150 points away, make it 50 from that lightning strike. And we talked about how deadly streaks are on this map.
Well, we'll stick with Karma's POV for now and just see if he's able to pick up these streaks. He's trying to maybe find an easy kill in the old hard point, picking up these final couple of seconds as his teammates will do the dirty work in rotation. You just hope to set him up with an easy one. We'll swap over to Scump for a second because he's on a bit of a streak as well. Scump's now got one. He has 4 kills in a row. Karma does end up dropping, so I don't know if he actually, it doesn't look like he picked up anything, so he falls 50 points short of any kind of streaks.
Hear that War Machine though, Decimate, he pops that, trying to find a couple of kills, is able to find 2, but Scump goes through that window, finds 2, and he gets full streaks. I was gonna say, I didn't really agree with the lightning strike. He didn't find any of the kills, it didn't allow his team to
break. He got the other streaks though, he got the other streaks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, G2's still in control, but you find that Hellstorm, you find that drone squad, and we'll see when he's able to pop those.
A nice setup inside a lab right now for G2 as they're looking to build this lead with 20 seconds remaining on our first hard point in the second rotation. You see Dashy, who already has had some highlight plays you've likely seen on social media with that Tempest. Does he have another one in his back pocket in this game 1 versus G2? Trading back and forth. We'll take a look at the minimap for the rotation, kind of watch Dashy as he's set up here. This, the first time through, this is where G2 really opened up the game. This is where OpTic has to do a better job the second time through.
Yeah, and there's that Hellstorm. I was literally just about to say, well, let's watch out for number 5, but that was Decimate. He sort of spawned out. It created a bit of a pinch for G2, but the Hellstorm takes care of him.
It's like the opposite of what happened the first time. Remember, Chino's Hellstorm that came in made it difficult for OpTic to get it set up. Now the complete opposite. Scump's able to find the opening and time for OpTic early.
Yeah, and the big thing with this hill, with this crane hill, is you want to get pushed up towards that barrel elbow. If you're able to do that, you can push out guns. That's when you get a ton of time. TJ, nice shots with that Zog. Karma and Dashy starting to heat up as well. And there you go. You see Karma flying in, trying to help his teammates. Both of these players run out of ammo, but Scump's there to trade. And now what are Scump and Karma doing with 20 seconds left? They're trying to flip those spawns, and they're able to do that as Decimate spawns out. Same with Blastful. This is a big chance, an opportunity for OpTic Gaming to get a lead.
And look how far up you see Scump kind of pushed on the minimap too for the next hard point. It's going to allow one to, I believe, spawn in back steps. A couple are going to spawn there, so they're going to have to focus on that as well as OpTic Gaming trying to get set up on rotation. Karma then will get in first. The pinch about to come in. You can see 3 players right now about to collapse from G2. Karma, no help there when the push comes in, so he's going to end up dropping. OpTic's going to rely on yet another break, but at least they've got a little bit of a cushion here with a 20-point advantage.
Yeah, that was a big kill by Decimate. But there we go. Dashy, he pops that Tempest. Trophy goes out. Drone squad as well, as you said. They're investing a ton of resources for this break.
I mean, you got to get points here. You've got to get a ton of points. You have Tempest out, you have Drone squad out. This is where you got to make plays, and yet again, he's getting it done. Third there. The hipfire with it connects. Ricky, maybe we'll see you back on. Oh, no! Oh, no! Ay, ay, ay! Dashy couldn't connect. Just couldn't connect. Looked like Ricky had some sort of guardian angel there. Yikes!
Yeah, that was a green box. That was a green box.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
You know, it's a little tough. He was feeling hot. He wasn't even aiming in. He was just hit
yeah, like he hits all the tough shots, but that one just can't get the finish. But OpTic has eclipsed the 200-point mark. G2 now trying to claw tooth and nail right back into this map 1. What utility do they have to do with it? I mean, you think about what Vicento's getting close to that vision pulse. Ricky's going to have the ground slam. You're going to have a couple things I think to work with down the stretch, but you got to earn them and you have to use them effectively.
Well, there you see TJ. He's going to pop that War Machine. The trophy doesn't get out, finds a couple of kills. Once again, though, if you're G2, that was a great opportunity to get back into the game. They had 1 rotation. They had spawns pushed out. You saw Dashy and Karma with the Maddoxes finding those kills, and now look at the mini-map. Look how far they have G2 pushed out. G2 right now is thinking, screw this, we have to rotate to offense. We have to play perfect hardpoint from here on out. Yeah, and you have to invest your resources.
They've already used the vision pulse. Now, really, they're just relying on Ricky, Black, maybe Decimate to get towards some of these specialists, but I don't even know if they're going to get there. OpTic so close to closing out this game. Dashy lightened up now. He's got 6 kills in a row. He's 130 off streaks. Well, that's one way to slow him down as Ricky hits the ground slam, but now OpTic just needs the final couple seconds here. They need to lock it down in office. The kitchen push doesn't look like it'll get there in time, and map 1 to OpTic Gaming, but I mean, it's similar to their first series. We saw pretty close hard point. They're trailing a little bit early, and they start to climb back into it.
Yeah, we're going to take another look as soon as Dashy pulls out this Tempest, that statue, able to find a couple. He sees the tac match, and what does that mean? Well, it means those guys are going to get up faster, so as soon as he sees this on Ricky, he's trying to clean it up. It's just that box, man. The box won't get out of his way.
Well, Ricky gets a kill that had to feel pretty good there on the Tempest, but unfortunately didn't matter in the end of things. So that'll do it for map 1 in this series. We're going to hop back over to the desk to check out the other matches.
Thank you, Maven. We're going to swing on over to Charlie, where we have LG and UYU, and looks up frequency at hardpoint, and UYU's up by about 30.
They were up by, they were doing a lot better.
They were up by like 100.
They were up, yeah. LG's bringing this back.
This is LG's by far their worst map. They hate this map. After talking to some of the players, they were thinking about just straight up vetoing it throughout the weekend, but I think they're giving it a test here, seeing what they're made of on LAN on this map. But to see them actually with this many points right now actually surprises me after watching them getting destroyed on it online.
They're that bad?
It surprised me that this is
they
a bad map
win
for
this,
them.
yeah.
It surprised me. This seems like a map that would be suited for them. Like, it's close quarters, fast pace.
Yeah, that's a good point. In terms of practicing it, though, I would have thought they may have waited till maybe tomorrow when you play that open bracket team. That would seem like a good time to maybe get your practice on a map. For me, UYU, could they cause an upset? I mean, unlikely. I think everyone expects LG to win this, but still, you never really want to go 0-1 down in a series and just start off with a lack of momentum, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Does LG believe that UYU has a chance versus them? That's the thing. I don't think that they do.
If they were to lose a map in this series, I think Gunless would like start fist fighting his teammates on the stage. But UYU's a solid team, solid players on that team. I don't see them beating Luminosity in the series, but taking a map, I could definitely see it happening. Luminosity came back in this map already, though, by about 110 points. So
it really was a pretty big deficit to start. And you know, credit to LG coming back and.
They're about to tie this up here in a second.
Gunless, we have to talk about it, bro. Like,
yes,
it's crazy. Like, just watching, what, 3-4 maps that we've seen him play so far, we know how talented he is. But then you watch him again on LAN, and it's almost as if, like,
I forgot.
You feel stupid that you forget, right?
I forgot. Somehow.
You feel dumb that you're like, oh, yeah, Gunless is that guy. Like, he really is that talented.
7,000 damage on both the hard points he played.
It's nuts, bro.
He's unbelievable.
And just think about this. Imagine if somebody else on the team starts contributing to, like, the potential that they have. Like, imagine if John gets the full John form. This team would be absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. That's why we keep saying, you know, on paper, this is...
On paper, they're the best. They have the strongest roster, most skilled roster.
Talent.
We'll see if that matters in the long run.
Yeah. The players on UYU are actually they're doing the thing right now. None of them are too negative. They did activate that crash here. They're gonna have to try to get something going here, get some hill control, pick up some points.
Here's the big question, though. Here's the big question, because you said UYU had about, what, 100-point lead, roughly, give or take? What was the swing in the map? Where did it kind of go wrong, or where did it go right, I guess, for LG?
Well, I mean, LG just took over one entire rotation, right? To do that, you got to just win back-to-back hills. You got to hold the hill, and you also got to win rotation. So there's a terrible error on the side of UYU. LG just was able to steam together some points, and
they had a lead. They had a lead going into the second or third U hill, and they just should have just given up the last hill. They didn't do that.
Just rotated.
They overfought it, didn't rotate. LG came back, and you get punished. That's how you get punished.
Classic mistake of every hard point, right? You just don't give it up. You try to do too much. Try to hold on to that 80-point lead. You're not just okay with holding a 20-point lead and getting the next. And that happens to a ton of teams. UYU are going to need a really good hold in order to come back in this series.
I mean, quick hold and a rotation. That's tough to do, man.
He does have grab spikes, though, so maybe put something together there.
Did you have that habit when you played it? That YY habit? That's why you just...
No, I never had that habit.
No,
there's so many players who have it. That's just a twitchy play style. The new age players, they're also twitchy, just YYing everywhere.
Cracked.
YYs galore.
And here comes the War Machine, though. If he's able to do some damage here, might be able to break on in. Only 10 seconds left for LG. That's all they need. And he's going to whip the beat down. Oh, man.
That's not what you want to see.
You have something firing grenades, and you're getting beat down like that. Grab something's going to come through, but again, this is
the hardest hill in the game to hold like a full 40.
Yeah. You need to push out both sides, and you have to worry about your mid cut.
Annihilator.
Formal has an Annihilator.
Got 4 points?
This is over.
Oh, my Lord. Can that be best play, please? Oh my!
Formal just killed 5 people.
Does formal things.
That's wow.
Absolutely, and of course, if you want to keep watching this, stick with Charlie, but we're gonna swing on over now back to Merc and Maven with Alpha, where we're going to Mat 2, OpTic, and G2.
Thank you very much, Katie. Let's get right back into it. Map 1, pretty close, back and forth until OpTic ultimately able to close it out. Now we'll get to Surge. Now, this is what's interesting. You know, there's been some questions behind OpTic. You know, will the online play transition to LAN?
Sure.
With the pickup of Dashi and TJ, will the S&D woes of prior years be fixed? You think if anyone was going to maybe give them a little pressure and search and destroy in this pool, G2 might be it. You've got a lot of S&D prowess on that team. Surprisingly, though, G2 lost their first searches. Yeah, again, we talked about it in the pregame. That's where Ricky's teams, Vicento's teams in the past, that's where they specialized. Flashful and Decimate, that's where they made their name. Chino last year on TK, that's really how they won a couple of their championships. This team should be very solid at search and destroy. But as you said, OpTic, a major reason they made this team change was for search and destroy.
They win more than 50% of their searches, they'll likely win events. We'll see if they can do it. So far, so good. 3-2 advantage. Ronda Dashi with the snipe, able to connect. One player left, wiped off the board in round 1. Goes to OpTic Gaming.
You hear a bit of a Bruce chant right there, you know, out in the crowd. Obviously, a lot of OpTic fans love watching Dashi. The guy could put on a show at any moment. We saw it with the Tempest. A little bit until he found the box.
The Tempest giveth and the Tempest taketh away. It's like he's had a highlight play and he got smoked by Ricky. But yeah, he's definitely deadly with it. And there you see Krem6, widely considered, well, it's debated, but maybe the greatest Call of Duty player of all time.
Yes,
obviously,
I would say yes.
Invaluable to this OpTic Gaming team. And now he's got his pal Karma back on the roster.
Yeah, and when you watch these scrims, I mean, Krim, he can be brutal on these guys, but Krim does not want to have a year like last year. Scump able to find that first blood, and well, Scump had a great game number 1. I think he finished around 28 and 16. It was a quiet one. He went on a bit of a streak, but he was really their slaying leader. Decimate trying to find a couple of kills. Maybe with that cluster, going to back OpTic down, but still a man advantage until Ricky goes on a flank.
Flank comes in, he should find a second. TJ weak and he'll get wiped off the board. Now a 2v2. Bomb has been planted today. OpTic looking to play a little bit of defense. They'll have superstar Scump and Dashi up, Ricky and Blast. Going to have to make the play to try and find the kills and the defuse. Scump almost gets caught, but look who's looking over him. None other than Dashi connects with the snipe yet again. It all falls on Ricky. Where do you even try to make this play? He's at least able to hit the cross, but he has to try and take a one-on-one with Scump while Dashi's looking over him. That's not an easy thing to do, and next thing you know, Ricky's brain splattered to the wall.
Yeah, I think the play, though, it starts with Scump, right? Scump is on that second statue, he's on that middle pillar, and he's just holding his stun. He's shoulder peeking back and forth. You saw Dashi was in their lobby. He was watching the flank. That's what he was concerned about. But it starts with Scump. As soon as Scump sees one, he throws his stun out. That allows Dashi to rotate back. He's able to watch over him. And as you said, just be the feel.
Stay down, I got you. That's all you're probably hearing between those two players. But shot at Ricky.
That's a play last year where maybe OpTic screws something up.
Well, they're up 2-0. Looking good right now in search. We'll see if G2 can answer back. Is this the round where it happens on offense? You see a bit of a split on both ends. Now starting to rotate towards the B side. So be Karma really by himself. Karma trying to get vision. He's not playing at the back kind of box hop up where he can easily get away. Not going to matter. It's a one-on-one. How do you give him a one-on-one fight? There's no even trade opportunity there.
Yeah, now he has some help. Scump jumps through that middle window. Chino, he's going to challenge, but as you said, there needs to be a trade. Decimate luckily able to pick off Scump, makes it a 4 versus 4. Maybe a bit of an overreach from Scump.
So many times I've watched OpTic scrims and Karma will play kind of that back box where you can just kind of hop up and check the B side. He'll play it by himself. If you're doing your research, you know he's there, you at least kind of swarm him to some degree. You can't just give him a one-on-one like that, unless they're just assuming he's going to be playing deep. Maybe just catches him off guard a little bit.
Yeah, but now G2 is starting to push up towards this site, but you see all those green arrows starting to rotate on over. It is going to be hectic here.
Well, how much harder does this push look now? You got Dashi in the back, lines up 2 more. He's got 5 kills in a row. He's yet to die as he's at 5-0. Blast tries to connect with the snipe. Gets tagged up. He's been taking a one-shot on multiple occasions, but G2 just getting steamrolled off the site. And that just starts with Karma. He wins that one-on-one fight. After that's said and done, the rotation comes in. You get no site control for G2, and they just get wiped off the board. What are G2's options after you drop that first gunfight? Do you try to rotate?
You have to trade it, right? You have to trade Karma out. And I'm thinking maybe a reason they didn't push it is Blastful is one of their faster players. And if he's going to have that sniper out, someone else has to step up and go for that trade. There's Dashi. I don't think he's died yet so far.
I don't think so.
As I imagine.
Total 5-0, yep.
They're going to continue to try to set him up with a sniper, and why not? We know how good he is with it.
Well, they said early in the title they're going to let him snipe every single map.
And why not? When it's 5v5s, you have the Mozu in your back pocket. Let him do what he wants.
100%, 100%. I think he can take a little bit more of a gamble, especially with the added van. We'll hop over to Decimate for a moment, who's tagged up but able to get away with his life. They give up that A site, so it's an easy and free plant now for OpTic Gaming. With everybody up, you still have the sniper set up to look over this as well. What are your options here for the retake if you're G2?
And again, look at what Scump's doing. Chino's going to take it down his teammate. Luckily, Blastful able to find a snipe. Viceno with another one. A solid retake so far, but TJ's playing inside those vents. Scump stays alive. TJ gets a nade kill now. Another 1 versus 2. 20 seconds left. Ricky able to find one. Stuns out, but Scump just dips. Look how smart and beautifully Scump is playing this right now.
And Ricky's got to go.
I mean, look at this. Look at this play
right
now.
He's
How do you deal with this stock on the Sog? And that's a round win process.
Absolutely toying with his food. Shoulder peek after shoulder peek. You can see how frustrating that looked to deal with from Ricky's POV. And Ricky's been left in some tough spots where maybe an opportunity to clutch, but well, to be fair, they've been 2 1v2s with no advantage. But nice job from OpTic, winning those scenarios they should be taking.
There's Chino on your screen. Chino, a part of that Team Caliber squad last year. Won back-to-back. They win Dallas. They win New Orleans. Plus, what, Envy ended up finishing top 6 at Champs with a very solid run. Can they continue it this year? Well, can he? I mean, he played so stellar last year.
Well, they need to get a round on the board here. It's probably the priority.
That's probably, yeah, we should do that first.
We'll see if they can get something
There's
going.
Karma once again.
They opt to go for mid-control, but into the window is Karma, who finds yet another first blood. Everybody dropping. TJ finds 2 suddenly and quickly. A 5v3 for OpTic Gaming as G2 has found not a single foothold inside of this game too.
I mean, we talk about sort of specialist advantage as the more momentum you're gaining, but this has been so fast. OpTic aren't even there. I mean, the only one Scump. Blastful is able to find a kill, but it's 5-0. This isn't even close.
Well, yeah, it might be a 6-0 if the only thing used is like attack 5. So that might be it if you even need it.
This is comfortable.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously G2, they lose their first 2 search and destroy, so we don't have a lot to take maybe from the new OpTic Gaming and search, but so far you gotta like what you see if you're a longtime fan. Just they're looking very, very clean and comfortable right now.
I mean, if you watch them early on, as soon as Black Ops 4 released, the first thing on their mind was search. All of these guys were just getting search and destroy tourneys under their belt.
I talked to Krim, kind of right after the team change happened. Krim told me, I think just with us 3, with us core 3, with Karma and Scump, we can get respawn victories. We need someone that can come in and take over searches. They got 2 players that have the capability to do it. But you do see the one specially get called in. It's going to be that TAC 5. 2, I believe, of the extra health players do get ripped off. Just able to get away from the stun, but the site has been swarmed as OpTic pushed through and they effectively trade.
Plus nade is on.
Okay, later.
On a kill. Yep, that helps the retake a lot. Now it's 3 versus 2, but TJ's in a great position. Dashy, 7-1. It's
a little bit of revenge on Ricky. I think a little bit of revenge on the tip is flesh as he absolutely 180s him.
Oh, Tempest is out now as well. Chino in a very tough spot.
No chance. 6-0. OpTic in cruise control.
Woo! That boy Dashy could snap.
What was he like? 46 HP or
man, he's looking like you on Blackout.
I think Ricky started shooting potatoes at somewhere in that gunfight because he just got smoked. Wow. Well, TJ enjoying a beverage as
Chino's not. A little stressed out.
Guys, what's going on? We're getting crushed right now. We're gonna have to bring it back into control, but what a win there from OpTic as they make the search and destroy look easy. G2 find themselves in yet another 2-0 hole. Can they get the victory and control? Maybe battle back to extend this series. Don't go anywhere. We'll find out after this quick break.
The Call of Duty World League is presented by PlayStation 4, the official platform of the CWL. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, the official beverage of the CWL. Level up the game. and Astro Gaming, the official headset and mix amps of the CWL.
OpTic Gaming enjoying a 2-0 advantage in their second series of the day, yet to drop a map thus far. Joe, for G2 on the other side of things, I mean, they're finding themselves trying to do it the hard way. Now, granted, you start with Splice, you start with OpTic. I mean, you're talking about maybe 2 of the top 4 teams in the world coming into this. But you talk to some pro players, they've got Splice and OpTic both in their top 4. It's not an easy start.
Yeah, no, that OpTic Splice match later on tonight is going to be a fun one to watch, I think. Again, I don't think a lot of people on the outside of the scene had Splice really in their top 4, their top 6, but all the pro players that we talked to say Splice is incredible.
I played a bit of pubs one day with Karma. Just woke up early. He was on. We were grinding. I asked him, just who do you think is the top team outside of you guys, or who's been the toughest to play against? He said Splice. So I kind of trust his opinion. I do, a lot more than my own. That's for sure.
Yeah, we're going to load up Arsenal once again.
Oh, we've been here before.
We might have been here.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful statue, beautiful lobby. At least it's a beautiful map.
Yep. 3 times in a row. We'll see if G2 can get out of Arsenal. I think that's the question right now. No, it doesn't look that way, but control, just like you had with CTF, Uplink, that map 3, your swing game. If you're going to build some momentum, it's got to happen here. This is where you have to try to bring it back. Looks like we're going to be having a replay.
That's a new strategy.
One player's off the map. There's a lot of team kills going. Oh, just mass confusion at the beginning of the map. That's a new strat.
Yep.
Try to kill your team with trophies.
Yeah, welcome.
Oh, just thrilling gameplay here.
No, but it'll obviously be very interesting to watch over the weekend, even over today. Like how Vito's switch for teams. Like if you're Splice watching this match, unless they're playing right now, they understand that. Well, OpTic obviously loves Arsenal.
So from your experience, obviously for you as a caster, you've had years where you've had Vitos. Well, sorry, your years as a player.
Yeah,
you've had years where you've had
years
Vitos
as a caster.
Yeah, years where you haven't had it. I guess what's the difference for Vitos for teams maybe early in the title versus maybe the end of a title?
I think you know your limits. I think the first event or the first couple events, you play something online and you're just thinking we love this map. Like, we'll take Arsenal Control, for example. You go to the first LAN, you're thinking, we love this map. We do so well. The first weekend or the first couple of days, you lose every single one, but because you practice it so much and because you put so much emphasis on it, you're still thinking that's a strong map. Maybe we just had some weak individual performances.
And to be fair, like these guys had, well, I guess once stuff was announced, I mean, you at least had an extra 2 to 4 weeks to prepare versus prior years just because of Black Ops coming out, October 12th versus November 3rd or something in the past. So there was definitely some extra time there to prep, which may play into your Vitos. Maybe you're a little bit more comfortable with what you're going to work on, but it's still the first event, man. If we expect something wild, if you expect a lot of question marks for teams, this is where you're going to see them.
Yeah, and again, I think with Vitos, maybe with the system coming back last year, maybe people just stuck by their pride and true, right? They didn't not play their maps, where maybe we see them try to make some adjustments. Maybe after today, they wake up early tomorrow, and you know, just try to figure out what works best for them on a couple of different new maps.
Yeah, well, we should get loaded back into the control here in a second to see if OpTic can close things out or if G2 are going to push it. We've had a lot of Game 5 so far today, so we're expecting this to be a long day. That's what you love, though. It's day 1 of Vegas. Let's take it to midnight. Who cares? Let's have some fun.
I'm down to watch 72 hours straight of Black Ops 4.
Well, I'm loving it. You know, I've watched so many scrims at home. You know, each night we'd be grinding online together. We'd get off, we'd chat, we'd watch scrims, but it's just a different beast when you're watching inside a Codcaster. It's a completely different animal, seeing what all 10 players are doing on the map, how everyone's working together, and now we'll get right back into it. Looks like everything is correct, so here we go. Map 3, OpTic, G2, and we know how important in control these opening breaks are.
Yeah, when you talk about Arsenal Control, typically teams try to attack this A site first. It's really hard for the defense to retake it, just due to the nature of it, right? How does the defense retake it? Based on their spawns? Either to one, try to send a guy on the flank, which Blast is doing, maybe go outer guns, or try to flood through the lobby, and that's just so difficult to do. And OpTic right now have a 5-kill lead. They already have about 2 ticks on this A site, looking real comfortable. And G2 has to think, do we push for this one more time, or are we just gonna allow OpTic to have that extra amount of time and just defend B?
Yeah, we've seen that strategy on many maps. Just give it up and focus on next. You don't want to just, you know, basically pound your head into a wall just trying to fly in against a 4 or 5 stack, so they give it up. It's already an 8-man advantage for OpTic Gaming. They're at the next spot. They've got a trophy down. You've got Dashy lighting up players and his teammates, but ultimately he finds the kill when it matters. And I mean, G2's just getting steamrolled right now.
Yeah, they got to pick it up slaying-wise. That was my biggest concern when, again, just looking at the roster. Like, who are your superstars? It could be Decimate and Blastful, but last year they had their moments, but they were also inconsistent at times.
Do you think there's less upset potential? When you talk about respawns, there's less upset potential in something like Control maybe versus CTF?
I think so, because
a little bit more slay heavy in a way, or? Absolutely,
but I think, again, on a game mode like Control, if you're able to get a solid break off, get a 5-kill advantage, you could play with that.
And we're so early in the game too. We don't know what kind of strategies are going to come out for teams down the road, right? There might be a whole lot more that we're seeing. Oh no, being thrown out. Is that Dashy 180ing someone again?
Yeah, we should let's just watch Dashy.
Yeah, let's get the Dashy cam. All right, Bruce, let's see what you got. I don't think we're going to see much more as the 3rd point's about to go. OpTic are going to get the first round. They have a 16-4 advantage right there. There comes the final point. And honestly, that just looked comfortable from the opening seconds. Once they got control of Inner Lab, it kind of snowballed from there. It felt like, at least it feels like at some point, even if you get that early break, like at some point the team fights back a little bit. At no point did G2 have any semblance of control. They didn't even get set up for the next control point.
And you saw what Blastful and Facenda were trying to do. They were trying to maybe set up a couple of spawn kills, just really stagger the push of OpTic Gaming, but then Dashy turned on Facenda, so that didn't happen.
Yeah, that hurts. That does hurt. Karma back on OpTic Gaming. We may have heard what Krim said in his stream the other day. Just a guy you cannot replace. And one of the, I guess, the regrets of his career was dropping him off the squad, but now he's back, and OpTic Gaming looking to steamroll through the competition yet again. TJ tries to pop up into Vince, but Chino ready and waiting with that SOG.
You see G2 kind of catches
bit of a different hit.
Catch him off guard. OpTic, they were trying to go towards that window. They were trying to go towards that middle lobby. Instead, G2 go towards the B site. Karma tries to go on a bit of a flank, has the help of TJ. And they don't get the second tick. That is so important for OpTic Gaming to defend that, but Decimate and Chino are still here. And G2, they have a 4-kill advantage right now as they continue to attack B.
And they're set up inside of OpTic's lobby, so Decimate getting shots in basically off a spawn. He will get cleaned up as Dashy comes flying out. Dashy, if he gets a second here, how huge that would be for their positioning. But the help is now in, so they'll shut it down. Wait, did they get the second tick? I don't think they did. I don't think they did. I thought with that second push, surely they were going to get it. So they're going to wrap now back into A. They've got first point, kind of the first tick done for either site, but still a lot of work to do for G2.
Yeah, let's go over to TJ. TJ's trying to go to a bit of a flank. As soon as TJ gets in a position, OpTic's going to go. Ready? So he's going to get taken down. Now, basically, that forces the guys out of window to push on out, and OpTic trying to defend this site, and it's looking like they're going to be able to do it. Decimate the last player alive, and watch that play clock. Only 50 seconds left. G2 Esports have to cap at least one to extend that time.
And like the man advantage you have for G2 isn't that valuable now because of the time against them. They have to make the play. They have to at least get one of these points, obviously, to try and extend it. You can't just trade kills. You got to get some control. They should be able to get A here. Looks like OpTic's going to try and contest. They looked at it. Looks like they decided to just give up the point. Focus back on their spawn and now set up for B as you get another minute on the point here or another minute on the objective for G2.
And just look at the map. Now G2 has a decision. You have about 90 seconds. You don't have to go for B right away. You can try to get some kills, send guys towards that turret side, through the guns and set up some spawn kills, or they can try to wrap through their base. They're trying to really take control of both lobbies. One player going through the vents. That's going to be Chino. He's going to get taken down. Still a 2-kill lead. But the big thing with offense is you just need one good push. No matter how many lives you have left, if there's 5 of you, you get one push. There's always that opportunity where you can capture the site.
Well, it's going to be difficult for them right now for G2. You've got Karma basically pushed up into office. So he found actually 2 kills basically on them coming out of spawn. So the 2 players that are trying to push towards B have to wrap back and deal with that pressure. And Krim, you know how difficult it is to find a kill after being meleeed. It messes up everything with regards to your aim and control of the reticle, but he's still somehow able to find it. Now it looks like G2 want to take the push through mid instead of that front office.
And that's what I thought they should have done
Their last team push for the most part.
Well, Ricky able to find a couple of kills. Now watch Viceno. Viceno and Ricky are both in a couple of great positions to get some spawn kills. This is what they can do with the time left on the clock. They're trying to find them. Viceno on a huge flank. Ricky just needs to stay alive there. Instead, the trades go the way of OpTic. Now a 7 versus 5. Can Viceno find another one? He can. And he's just buying time for his team to push up. But OpTic Gaming, you still have a 3-man setup over here, but Blastful finds another one. Now 5 versus 4. G2 might pull this round out. And it starts with Viceno just being a nuisance in the OpTic Gaming base.
There's so little time remaining, though. Just 7.8 seconds on the clock. Can OpTic do this from down 2 players? 3v5. They've got to isolate Vicento in the back. They're able to do that. They find 2 kills, turn it into this 3v3. What a dagger this could be. They come flying up the steps, but G2 ready and waiting. They find the round.
But you heard the Tempest at the end. So G2 did invest one of their specialists to make sure they secured that round. They did not want OpTic to go up 2-0.
That's one of those things where you just think, we lose this round, we lose the series. They just feel like they have to pull it off.
Bit of desperation.
Then maybe that's, props to OpTic in some sense by forcing that out of them, just making it so close down the stretch.
And they had the kill advantage, but we saw what Viceno was able to do. That's sort of a different strategy in control, setting up those spawn kills, being a nuisance. He was basically making a 4 versus 3 in the front for his team. He was containing 2 guys in OpTic spawn.
Yeah, it just splits the team in half, right? Tied up at 1-1. This is where G2 has to show some life. If you're just joining us, OpTic Gaming 1 map away from getting this victory and starting out, the perfect 6-0 map count. Karma goes soaring in. The grab slam just connects with 1. But OpTic looking to bounce back after that round loss. We'll see how they deal with it. I'm going to hop to an Astro Gaming listen in here with OpTic Gaming.
Yo, he's outer pillar, pushing up the mid hard point, pushing up the mid hard point.
Right pillar, guys.
Left, you got me, right pillar.
Nice, good job.
Come on. Nice, keep holding in there. One's in our vent, in our kitchen. On the hill with me. In our kitchen.
No.
In our kitchen, in
Come
our
on,
kitchen.
Brandon. Flanking you guys. Flanking you guys.
Behind you. Our side, guys.
We're behind him.
He's got a SOG. He's our right side pillar.
Another one there, so I came in the lobby.
What pillar? What pillar? Right? He's right. Hold on, wait, Damon.
Got him.
Is this now?
Our side, Ian.
I'll get him, I'll get him.
One shot. Another one there, lobby.
Watch
He
man.
came out left pillar.
Left pillar, guys.
Left pillar, really weak. Half health.
There's one shot. Dead. Watch
You're gonna be van or window?
Someone watch my van.
Lobby,
Window.
Go help him. I got her pinched.
Window, one shot.
Van.
Window, absolute Ricky.
All good.
Two
They're all there.
He done. I need help.
Go window.
Pushing him right. He's pushing him right.
Yeah, right side of me, right side of me.
Window, Ricky with window.
He's right.
Yeah, I think he hit window. 2 go in our lobby. One's he's left pillar.
Are we hitting A here?
We should go away. You guys should go window or something.
They're not peeking left. They're not peeking left.
Got one push here.
Yep.
One guy was left on me. Left weak. He's green box.
Yeah, 2 left. I need help.
One guy's green box.
2 left, 2 window.
Wait, let's
Bryce
back up.
is
Go B.
there.
Back up. Come B.
We have 8 seconds. We gotta go
Come B.
Oh, in vent.
On jet. On jet.
There's one vent, one on B. Vent. Last guy's vent.
Get on it.
I'm on it. Vent Sheen.
Come in, come behind.
Lobby, nice. Good job.
I don't have pinch yet. I don't have it yet.
Someone get
I have
it.
it now.
I'll watch it.
Go. Watch lobby.
You gotta get it, Seth.
Watch lobby.
Oh, you was our inner spawn. Our window. Our window, Desi saw it.
I have steps.
I'm stunned for a while. Lobby.
One shot jet.
Lobby and
All
jet.
front.
I'm stunned.
We're coming.
I need help.
With a second and a half remaining, OpTic Gaming able to get onto B. It's TJ dancing, trying to do what he can, and just a little bit short to slide in, but what a defensive hold early in that round from G2. Spectacular stuff is OpTic just couldn't find an opening. You heard the comms. They were just trying to decide where to hit. It seemed like they were a little bit, I guess maybe
they weren't
a little staggered. Yeah, a little bit staggered at times.
You heard Karma and a couple of the guys say, we should hit window side. And then you see 2 trying to hit through the middle of the door. Like, you need to push together. We did see at the end, they finally make a good push together. They're able to get on it, but just seems like they didn't listen to each other.
Well, that's even, I was listening to, I think the comms with Revan as he was talking to the guys on DG one time, and he's like, even if it's not the right call sometimes in control, just do something together. If you're doing it together, things can work out. If you just trade effectively at times, you can make the play. There, yeah, just a little bit off, a little bit staggered.
Yeah, here comes Ricky trying to get a grab slam, is able to find one, but Karma locking down that window side of the map. Chino with the SOG, and that's a little bit interesting to me. I mean, he's been such a stellar AR over the years. But he's rocking that SMG role. I guess when you have Viceno and Ricky on the team, someone's got to do it.
Well, think about last year. Last year, he was switching between. He was all over the place. Yeah. Bar, STG. I know they're both ARs, but kind of an identity crisis at some points last year. Now, we'll see what he can do with that SOG. It's a massive advantage for OpTic early in this. If you just talk about the lives, 26-20. Couple of kills, though, going to come in for G2 as they try to narrow that gap.
Well, just look at what G2 did. You see 3 of them in the window. There was 4. Like, they just made a solid team push together. Now, can they execute? Flashful able to find a couple of kills. TJ is able to find that second one, but there's that contest from G2.
More often than not, if you're not dealing with a specialist like a Tempest or War Machine or something like that, that swarm mentality, it can work. Regardless of where you are on the map, you can make the play.
Yeah, speaking of specialists, you imagine with a 2-1 how deep we are into this game. We're going to start seeing them come out. You do have the War Machine on Decimate. Viceno has Vision Pulse on the side of OpTic. Yep, basically everything. Chino does pop the Tempest, so OpTic, if they don't defend A with it, they're going to have to pull out their specialist if they want to go to a round number 5. They have to defend the B site.
See if they're going to get a chance for a round number 5. Is A close to being captured. There's a presence there on B. The Tempest is going to drop, and Chino and some kills go the way of OpTic Gaming. The nice thing for OpTic, even though the defense has been tough and G2's broken in a couple of times, you've still maintained that man advantage throughout the course of this entire game, even if it's narrow like it is in 2 kills. They're looking to push this to that 5th and final round as trades go back and forth inside a lab. Crimstic's doing what he can inside events, but unfortunately flanked from Vicento, but the trade is there. Just under 30 seconds now remaining on the clock, but A is going to be captured by G2. They'll get an extra minute to work with. Now OpTic's got to try and hold. You don't have lives to toy with if you're, well, really either side, but especially G2.
Yeah, I want to see what G2 does. If they do something a little bit differently, because last time they were in this position, they backed on up to their lobby. Okay, so Decimate's going to try to cluster on in. That might connect with TJ. Doesn't on the way, but look at number 7. That's Ricky going on a big flank, but Krim is in the back waiting for this. And Krim just spots him. But he dropped down, gets some bad timing.
Wow, okay.
Still able to win the gunfight, but still it's 5 versus 5. And if you're OpTic, you have to pop your specialist. There we go. There's a TAC 5 boost. Able to find one. Ooh, the TAC 5 almost held out Dashy right there. Still 4 versus 4. It's desperation time. Karma though, able to go through the vent and find 2.
3v2 now for OpTic. Final seconds of this game, suddenly 1 remaining for G2. It's going to be Ricky healing up and trying to make the play, but the OpTic swarm comes forward. And we will get to a 5th and final round in our game 3 of Control here on Arsenal.
It's been an entertaining Control so far.
It has, yeah. And now, well, this is what's going to be nuts, because we still have, what I think TJ has, the War Machine. I think Dashy, I believe, has his Tempest still.
I don't know how much they held on to. I did see the Vision Pulse popped on the side of OpTic. I did see, yeah, TJ still had War Machine. They used TAC 5.
We'll see here at the beginning what they have left, but they used a couple.
You're hoping if you're G2, you do have an advantage, right? That is one good thing when you have the round advantage in Control. You don't have to invest in too many. Yeah, Decimate, he has his War Machine. Yep. Blastful is close to TAC 5, but you have a lot.
You have your big hitters.
OpTic.
You have your Grab Slam. You have TJ with the War Machine, and you have the Tempest to work with. So a lot of utility right now for OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, Karma's trying to set this up.
You got to give them the edge.
He wants to hit it. You know he wants to hit it. Not going to do it right there, but they're able to trade. But as soon as I say that, Chino finds a couple of kills.
I think he picked up 3 ultimately in that, so we'll see if he can keep it rolling. 4 in a row now for Chino as him and Ricky hold inside the site, and that gives them just a couple of life advantage. But now OpTic Gaming looks they want to mix it up. They kind of want to push through that side of the map and try to get in the window like we saw G2 do a couple rounds ago. And they're able to do just that. Nice shots from Dashy inside a window.
Faceno though pushes up this office side. There's a TAC 5 boost out of Blastful. Karma, nice shots with that Maddox, and now what does G2 decide to do? How are they going to retake this? It looks like they're waiting for the flank from Blastful, and I believe that's Ricky coming through window. It's almost to 2 ticks, but Ricky's just being annoying, but Dashy able to find a couple.
OpTic looking to finish off A now as you see the rotation come in from G2. Live still about the same, but now this is where, you have the War Machine, you have the Tempest, the 2 big hitters now from OpTic Gaming. When will you see those used? And you see Decimate on your screen also has the work, but that's it. That's all you've got. You've got the War Machine, now it's going to come into play. You've got to get great value right now. The trophy actually pops and kills Scum, so I guess the War Machine sort of works out there. He's able to find 1, but OpTic as they push forward. The trophy's doing everything right now. Now the Grab Slam in from Karma as he finds a pair. Still just a minimal, just up 1 life as G2. But you still, again, have that War Machine, you have that Tempest on OpTic.
Now Chino has to know there's someone in their spawn. He spawned very far away towards that elevator elbow. He's got to know something's up, and yeah, TJ's still behind them, being a nuisance, but on the other side is Blastful, who's able to find a couple of kills.
Yeah, it's like both teams kind of position to make play. Just the difference is you have, what, 2 or 3 players from G2 kind of pushed up into the office side of the map. OpTic might not even have a good opportunity to use. Are they going to have to use these specialists just get out of their spawn?
Yeah, they might just go through that window side towards that gun side and just give up this side of the map and maybe try to take a push from G2's spawn. You have Chino locking down middle. I like that play out of Chino, just being patient. Him and Decimate able to find a couple. Now a 7-kill lead. Tempest is popped by Dashy. It's play-making time with the cluster. Gonna slow him down a little bit and look at Krim. Krim's in a really good position to find a couple of kills off spawn. Find the second, but this will give OpTic a little bit of a presence towards the middle of the map, and Dashy's starting to snap.
Knows he's got 1 close left. Call comes in. That's actually Karma. It's able to pick up the kill, and now they're in with 16 seconds remaining. It's going to be so hard to push Steps. He still has 6 in the chamber. Only a couple seconds remaining. Trying to snap to both sides. Able to hit the final shot. Now it's Maddox back out. Down 1. But they can make the play. War Machine now in from TJ.
Yeah, Ricky has a Grab Slam, able to connect with 1. Now a 6 versus 2. 4 versus 2 with TJ. He runs out. Can they clutch up? They get the second tick, but here comes G2. There's that first kill. Karma finds another one. Now a 2 versus 2. G2 are split.
TJ and Karma,
they gotta go.
To get it done. They have to try and get in. The final seconds are here. Chino comes soaring in. Chino can't win the gunfight. 1-on-1. 1-on-1. And the 3-time gets it done. Takes the gunfight, and there is the 3-0 for OpTic, but woo, that was a fun Control.
We should be going to a map number 4. That was very bad teamwork out of G2 Esports. They have the 4 versus 2 advantage. You know the War Machine's gone. There's only 2 players on that hill, on that objective. It's gonna go up very slow. Wait for each other off spawn. And well, TJ, Hallie, and Karma take care of business.
What a clutch, and I think that type of scenario is exactly why we've been excited about Control. Like, yes, it's fast-paced, yes, it's fun, but it provides those scenarios that are so similar to a Search and Destroy. Those clutch scenarios in a 2v4, like you found TJ and Karma, and you see the disappointment now on G2. I see you looking at the stats, Joe. What stands out?
Yeah, I think you got to talk about Karma. 7,300 damage. He doubled Scump. Scump only had 3,800. What a game out of the 3-time.
OpTic yet to drop a map, a perfect 6-0 to kick things off. Let's toss it over to the desk. Katie, boys, break it down.
Thank you, Maven. Of course, that was OpTic making their presence known there on the main stage. But here on Bravo, actually, we are swinging into map 2 with Red Reserve and Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, Red Reserve, they actually look pretty good. But I know, Peck, you were watching this game with me, and it was back and forth.
That was a great game, man.
Very, very close. Very, very close. But Red Reserve, they managed to just kind of close it out right at the very end when they needed to. But EG, I'm impressed, man. I'm impressed.
I expected them to take that first map. They called themselves Hardpoint Gods. They're telling me they're gods. They got beat off rotation at the end, but it honestly was back and forth. Really good game.
It was 175 to 175 at one point, and it ended up being a 250 to, what, 230, I think is what the final score was. So it was a pretty close game. Red Reserve looking to bounce back here. This could be a fight for who gets second in this group. So this is a very important match right now.
Huge match, huge match.
Also, because this game just started, can we just talk about what just happened? Are we just going to...
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we can't gloss over what Damon just did.
I mean, that was OpTic putting their foot down.
Dashy with a Tempest, like, bro, missed a 3-time. Woo! Looks like he gonna miss a 4-time in the end of the year.
Definitely clutched up big at the end. G2, like Joe said, G2 messed that up horrifically. Somebody ran on the outskirt of the map. Another player hit lobby. They were all alone in a 4v2. This group, like Joe said, get together, trade it out, and win the map.
Yeah, that got my heart pumping, man. I love Control. I love Control, but getting a 3-0 like that—that's a statement right there. OpTic setting themselves apart from some of the middle of the pack teams.
And talking to 3-0s, I know LG on Charlie, they also had a 3-0 result against UYU. So
Gunless dominated again.
Shakara? Who would have thought?
Here's the thing about that OpTic G2 match is like, Splice, they went game 5 with them, right? OpTic just 3-0'd G2 so fast. They dominated them. I mean, that game 3 was pretty close. Obviously, G2 probably should have won it, but that's a statement match. But moving on to this Red EG game, Red has bounced back pretty good here. Up 1-0 and up 2-0 in the Search and Destroy.
I mean, their games earlier on were pretty close against LG. It's not like they got necessarily blown out. A couple of small mistakes, which, I mean, you guys know as former competitors, you can kind of fix as the tournament goes on.
Yeah, and they actually played this map in Search and Destroy. And remember, that was the game where we saw all those mistakes, especially later in the game where they messed up their specialist rounds. I highly doubt Red Reserve's the type of team to not go back and talk about it and fix those mistakes. And we kind of see that right now where they're sitting at up 2-0. They're kind of had a trial run on this map, and they're able to fix some of their mistakes going into it. But yeah,
this was a 1v3.
Yeah, it was.
But now it's a 1v30. I mean, 30
He doesn't
seconds.
have time. He doesn't have time.
I believe, Peck. I believe.
No, that would have been dirty, though. But hey, he's working on his streaks. Also working on his specialist. That War Machine can be super deadly in Search and Destroy. 2-1, Red Reserve.
Making the map look pretty, too. Spraying some chickens. So they need to do. But Red Reserve looking good here in this Search and Destroy. The 3-0 lead, like you said. Pretty good stuff. And to your point, adapting Nameless, improving from what we saw earlier on. Because the mistakes you saw in the round 11 with specialists.
I mean, yeah, that's going to be huge. Like, I remember in Black Ops 3 when people, started to figure out specialists were huge in Search and Destroy. You can't just kind of use them to your liking. You got to kind of coordinate a team push with it. It takes a while before, teams figure out that best play and what they want to do. Incorporating 2-at-1, like popping a Vision Pulse
the key, right?
and using your Tempest, or popping the Vision Pulse and using your War Machine, kind of just working together. I think that's something very important. Even using a crash like the TAC-5 and going in with the grab spikes, like you got to be able to incorporate those at the same time, and it's a little bit sloppy out of a lot of the teams thus far.
That's when you see those comebacks too, when they're not used correctly. When you don't coordinate properly, the teams end up burning through their specialists. Other team earns theirs. They're coming from behind, run off.
They use theirs properly, and all of a sudden you're like,
now it's 5-5.
I know you guys remember that Envy phase game earlier, that 6-0.
Yeah. Oh, I remember.
Something to fans at home might not be used to, but I think we're going to see a lot of 6-0, 6-1s this year. It's going to be a lot different than it usually is, and the reason being is when you're steamrolling in the beginning and players are going off and you pick up those specialists, you're able to just close those rounds out.
Snowball effect,
right? It's a snowball effect. Yep. Whereas in previous years it wasn't really like that, but that's why this year we're seeing leads being extended in search and destroy and people dominating towards they're winning 6-0, 6-1s and not as many 6-3s, 6-4s.
Just theoretically, to your point, you win the early rounds, you're going to get your specialists quicker. You may even get some streaks, and if it does, like a 6-0,
sheesh,
it's more a little bit of a choke on you.
Excuse me?
Zero is nasty.
Zero is nasty?
I thought. Really?
Zero is nasty?
Well, he has those games, right? Zero's that guy that just takes over something.
Not winning that one.
That would have been a yikes for me if he did win that one. But 3-1 for EG. They get their first round on the board. And this is an important game overall in the grand scheme of things. I know you two, Pack, and you touched on this at great length, but in terms of where you'll finish in your pool, right? Yeah. We've said this pool is so tough. For Red Reserve, losing to LG earlier on, this is huge for them to bounce back and potentially come out into the winner's bracket. We know they're cursed last year in World War II. It always felt like they were always in the losers. They may as well start at the tournament in the losers bracket.
It's also a way for Red Reserve to figure out how good they really are.
Agreed.
Because you don't know, playing the LG team, Gunless caught fire. Maybe just a one-man show just dominating you. That happens sometimes. You let a player get the best of you. And Red Reserve, they haven't been able to play too many NA teams other than this last few days. Maybe take them a little bit of time to acclimate. But right now they're looking pretty good against EG, a team that looked solid in their first game.
And it's important to know as well, their control, Red Reserve's control, looked very
Vance's
good.
Control.
Yeah, well, that's good point. Good point. But in terms of what they were able to do against LG, I mean, going into a game like Control, I would have thought LG would have been fantastic at it. I probably would have thought it would have been one of their better game modes, just through the fact their sheer gun skill alone will allow you to hit pretty much any control point you want.
If you look at the map right now, it's just weird seeing what EG's goal is right now. See, this play wouldn't even have come close to being okay if Royalty didn't win his one-on-one on the opposite side of the map. He made a solo hero play, won his one-on-one, and then wins another one-on-one against Zero to pretty much secure this round. They should be able to close this one out, but I really don't like those hero plays. It's going to work out here. But maybe not. Never mind. It didn't work. See, exactly. So when you take those hero plays, it takes so long. It takes so long to get around the map, and you end up screwing your team over in the end. He hit a wide flank. He does pick up 2 kills, but it takes so long. His whole team's waiting for him.
And then you also lose trade potential. He won his one. That's good. If he doesn't win his one, you
instantly lose.
You instantly lose a round. You instantly lose a round. Exactly.
Because at that point, what happens is your guy that was dedicated to hitting the flank, he has now given up your entire flank at that point, and you're fighting a man down. So
it forces you to try to take back part of the map that you lost. Now you got to push different areas. You lost a round.
A quick glance over at Coach Revan. He's shaking his head, not impressed with that last round.
Yeah, because he saw the Royalty play.
On the bright side, though, if you are an EG fan, there is at least a streak at play. It's going to be Exotic, who's earned himself a Lightning. Just comes down to now using that in the correct way. He has a War Machine available too.
Yeah, I like this play. Sometimes you'll see teams send all 5 people over towards that A-bomb site, kind of hit the stack. And the reason I think they did it is so they could sit here and use that lightning strike and push them all back into their top office. Goonjar's in a pivotal spot right here. He has to hold this down. He has to pick up one before he goes down, or it's going to be really tough. Team kill.
Well,
Exotic.
Great lightning.
He didn't even need to use that lightning, though. I don't understand. They had a full setup. Yeah.
I don't hate the lightning.
I don't believe in wasting those kind of resources like that.
I don't hate it because
now you have to use your War Machine.
Trapping yourself on that bomb is really tough. You trapped on that bomb, it's really hard to get out of there. That was one of the worst rounds I've ever seen a team with a lightning strike and a bomb down I've ever seen.
And the War Machine. They just invested so much.
I mean, at that point you have to invest in War Machine because you're trying to damage limitate, right? You're like, we kind of need to win this round.
That's game over right there, by the way. They're gonna.
The thing I don't understand is, if you're thinking about using a lightning strike, why not, when you have bomb down, 40 seconds, you're forcing the other team to come to you, just ping it. Just use the ping, get your information, take your gunfights from there, and then worst case scenario, you still have a lightning strike. But imagine he had the lightning strike there. You just drop it on the bomb, you win the round.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I think that a good play would have been to maybe drop back, use the lightning, and then retake again. But I don't totally hate the lightning strike usage. What I hate was that Goonjar was the only player sitting on that flank holding that, and he decides to lay down and then just run away. They needed to try to get one.
They quick planted A and then had no plan afterwards when they could have just controlled their side. You said it's hard to get off the bomb, true, but since there was no opposition there, they literally could have backed up the Goon.
Should have backed up.
They could have backed up the Goon.
and then use the lightning, and then retake.
Yes, exactly.
That's a good play.
This is over. Joe, of course, now with some shrieks, he's going to let him rain in. Slows down the Hellstorm, drops it in, and finds himself a pick.
This EG team needed that first hard point, man. They really did. I've seen them scrim. I've been watching them, focusing on a lot of these teams. Their control does not look strong. Their hard point looks incredibly strong. Their control doesn't. Losing a close map like that gets you down. Now look at them.
If I'm not mistaken, they dropped, it was 3-0 in EG's first game against UYU. They went and played control. They got 3-0'd in that. You look at Red Reserve beating LG early on in the day in control 3-1. To me, I think you're absolutely right, Pack. I think the series could be over. That
was a dominant performance out of Red Reserve. They learned their lesson earlier, played it completely different. They look very good right there. Joe going off. Exotic was actually 12-4 for the squad. It wasn't enough. They need to go back to the drawing board, figure out some new strats, come up with something new.
They got to veto this map. They don't know what they're doing.
Yep.
They don't know what they're doing on this map.
That's a veto. That's a veto.
Oh, here we go. Here's a close one.
Yeah, of course, and that is Splice and Pittsburgh Knights here on Delta.
This is as close as it is.
What's Parasite?
Knights is good. I'm just going to say that right now.
Good.
Knights is good. They're just good. Good team.
I'm not saying they're not. I expected a lot more from Splice.
I said this going into the tournament. I've been on point with some of my predictions.
They won. They
won their match. What do you mean you've been on point? They won.
What I'm saying so far is this come true. But listen, like I said, Splice, I wasn't completely sold on them yet. We'll see how they do going forward. But either the Knights are just nasty.
The Knights aren't nasty. I watched them in the play-in bracket yesterday, and they did not look good. I watched them throw away pointless shots. We're gonna forget the 2v1 they had against Scump in the
that was terrible. That was terrible.
Right, but it's fundamental mistakes like that which you make against good teams, and you're gonna get punished. Like you can't. Like that's a simple mistake.
Absolutely.
That's why I don't think they're nasty.
Yeah, you're adding.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing.
Yeah,
the irony
Splice,
is going to go to game 5.
Splice has to be able to beat teams like this in hardpoint if they want to dominate series. I don't think this is a team that can rely on Search and Destroy, although I think they'll be solid. So, did he just Tempest his teammate?
No,
I think he got counter-tempested by Aqua here.
Yeah, I don't think Splice is going to be able to rely on Search. I think they'll be a strong Search team, but I don't think they're going to be able to rely on it.
It's just Tempest galore in the hill.
How's he still alive?
I have no idea. He survived way longer than he should have done, but Aqua still has his for couple of seconds.
This reminds me of the OpTic game. Knights don't throw it away again.
They have a lightning strike. Lacefield's going to call it in as well. Finds one. Butterx with another. 2 dead, but still no hill control. What does that mean for spawns? Still spawning back, so the contest is going to be so heavy. I'm worried. I'm getting flashbacks.
If they lose again, they're going to go crazy. This is going to be the end of the Pittsburgh Knights right here. It's going to be the end of the Pittsburgh Knights.
Day 1, first event.
It's all down to this last rotation.
I mean, they have streaks, right? I'm pretty sure someone from Splice just got streaks, yeah. Aqua with a Hellstorm and a Lightning.
Aqua.
Accent.
And he's going to call in the Lightning Strike right now. Pender with a big 2-piece. I heard him just get pretty loud right behind us. But Aqua answering back with the 2-piece Lightning Strike and also calling in the Hellstorm. Splice should be able to gain control here. That was a 2-piece. He actually gets Lacefield answering back with the War Machine. There's just so much going on right now. Drones inbound.
Grab slam.
Grab slam. Everything invested in this last hill.
Dude, chaos. But Splice, they're in the hill. And it comes down.
They're all pinned. The drones are going to pin them down. They're going to pick up a kill. Parasite answering back with a 2-piece. War Machine is out for temp. He can make the hero play right now if he can pick up this kill.
Oh, my lord. Absolute chaos.
8 seconds left. I think Splice is going to be able to do it. All they have to do is kill this last player. It's just going to be late.
They don't have time to get to the hill.
3 seconds left on the clock.
And he's only from middle. 2 players from middle. Parasite last man. He goes.
Oh, bro.
Wow. That's a rough L to take.
Splice is so good.
I mean, that's a great comeback. Credit where credit's due, but I'm not saying that that's twice that we've seen that happen now for Pittsburgh Knights.
That is twice.
But it is twice that we've seen that happen now.
The first one was worse. The first one was worse.
They were both pretty bad.
I don't know, man. That was... Actually, yeah, you're probably right. The first one was pretty bad. When you think about it.
Do you think, though, that it was closer, slightly closer at the very end there than you would have expected?
I mean, I just expected the Knights to win that map. When we first went into it, the way they were playing was fantastic. They had hill control. They were set up. They looked good. It's just those last 2 hills, they just got dominated on them.
They got, I mean, they
had away streaks.
Splice just gave up that other hill and they rotated to the 3rd hill in the lab. Held that time, the weird Tempest battle that we just saw. Everyone was on the ground. Everyone was on the ground.
Aqua was the hero right there, picking up those streaks on rotation. Because they were at a disadvantage, and then he called in the drones. He got an entry, used the Hellstorm. he pretty much spearheaded right into that hill. I think the Knights thought they could rotate, set up, and just win. Obviously wasn't the case.
And I think that, does that come down to maybe specialist tracking? Because if you think about it, 5v5, first of all, more chaotic than what players are used to. We didn't have specialists last year. Now, in those crunch times, I felt maybe like Pittsburgh Knights were like, we have a war machine. We can rotate a little late, we'll use it, but little did they know, well, Splice had a war machine as well. We saw Graveslam come in as well. There was basically just every specialist you could possibly imagine
I don't think
on
you
that
can plan
final
for
hill.
that. I don't think you can plan for it or counter
You can't, right?
But
it's so hard to track that.
Like right there was like a special case though. They saved all their stuff for the end, for that last hill, for that final battle, and it was epic. But there, wasn't enough for the Knights.
We actually did have another epic moment that we're going to swing back to now. Previously on Alpha with OpTic, and that's your play of the game presented by Scuff and featuring TJ Halley.
This was just silly, by the way. 3v6.
Where's the trophy?
This was a 3v6 to start things off, right? Now a 2v4. Who is that? Who is that making the
Blast? He almost made a good play right there.
Decimate push lobby alone. TJ goes huge.
Face God.
One thing that did go unnoticed right there was Karma actually looks outside the map and picks up Blast. Blast tried to, you get 3 seconds when you jump out of the map before you can jump back in. And typically players wouldn't look there. I don't know if Karma caught a glimpse of him when he jumped out, but if he just checked it like that, that is the ultimate heads-up play.
His awareness on another level if that gets checked.
I feel like he had
to have seen him.
There's no way. In that time, you're telling me as a player, you would have gone, hold on a minute, we're 4 seconds away from losing. Let me check outside the map.
He's the only player I'll give the benefit of the doubt that would just win.
Actually, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's a Damon play. That's a Damon play.
There's no way I'm doing that at the very end. I'm getting flanked and it's over.
Pag, do you think this is what we should have been expecting to see right out of the bat from OpTic there?
Oh yeah, they haven't dropped the map today, if I'm not mistaken, and that's what we expected to see. They're the favorite team coming in this tournament. They took care of business. A little help from G2. But they did what they had to do, and that's what we wanted to see.
I mean, they do need to give a good showing because, of course, in World War II, they did not take an open event.
Yep, all the pressure, they have a lot of pressure on their shoulders. The 2 new players they picked up. TJ, he had a good year last year, but going into a new team,
had a great year.
He wants to continue that. And also Dashy has a lot of pressure as well, trying to get that, first win, and let alone first top 8 placing.
I will say, I don't even think it's that they didn't win a championship last year. I think it's more so how the year ended. Like, you look at champs, they don't even make it to the nationwide arena. I mean, that's like a bit of disappointment. It's a horrible way for them to end their year. So now you have this kind of new roster that's formed, and they're trying to forget all about that. And online at least they've been great. They've come here to
Scump admitted it. He said it on himself. He said, I just did not play good last season. I was not good at the game. He can own up to that. That's a big thing that you can do. Look into your soul and say, my bad. Yeah, I was not good. That's
well,
tough
they also
to do.
dropped Karma.
Okay, yeah. And now he's back dropping 7,300 damage.
We're going to bring that up every single time.
That's the thing. 7,300 damage in that control game. Like, what? Absurd numbers. Absurd numbers.
Coming up next, actually, on Alpha, we are going to have E United versus Reciprocity. E United in a rather sluggish game against Mindfreak earlier today. And I want to know, do you think that was more E United struggling, Mindfreak just playing very well, kind of a combination of both?
It was probably a combo of both. First game jitters, but EU, yeah, I expect them to play a lot better than that. I think if Mindfreak took that game too, it would have been in tough series, and I think Mindfreak would have just rolled through the rest of that series. I think E United would have been compromised.
E United was sitting right behind us playing that match, and I didn't hear Clay once. I just don't think that they were fully into it yet.
Sure.
And they still pulled out the win.
First game on Friday.
You know how Clay is. Once Clay gets roaring, it'll be a completely different team than we just saw in that match.
The one thing I found super interesting, and I was speaking to Nameless about it, was I turned around to your point because they were playing like right there, and I pointed out the seating arrangement. And to me, it's super interesting. You have Cap in the middle, Clay on one end, and Abizi sat right between 2 just veteran leaders. It's like you have 2 people who can basically just babysit the new guy, right? The new kid on the bug is like,
I don't think Abizi is babysitting.
Oh yeah, Abizi's
I mean, true, but you know what I mean in terms of like decision making, like, especially in control. Like if you're dead and Abizi's alive, you have 2 vets who can basically just glance over and be like, "You doing the right thing? You are doing the right thing. We're good." Like to me, I think that's pretty interesting.
Absolutely.
We did, of course, just see OpTic Gaming 3-0 G2 in rather fantastic fashion there on the Alpha. And coming up next, it's going to be E United versus Reciprocity on Alpha as we continue the very first day of CWL Las Vegas. It is sure to be exciting. We can't wait to see it on Alpha coming up. Alpha is almost underway there with E United and Reciprocity. But first, we are going to swing back over to Bravo, where we have Red Reserve up 2-0 going into map 3 against Evil Geniuses.
I'm excited for this game. I really am. For Red Reserve,